Welcome, Leo. Zacky with Jessamyn Dodd today. And we've been talking about what's going on down in Imperial County, a part of California that is very clear to see on the map, but most people don't really know about it. And it's a big ag center. It's losing its agricultural potential. It's been impacted by disaster. Nobody's talking about it. Unfortunately, it seems to be the redheaded stepchild of the state. And there are so many things that are coming out of there, like we've had the sugar beets that are now being pushed out of business, but 2/3 of this country's lettuce, 2/3 of this country's carrots. But we even have lithium there, but
Yep.
no love for Imperial, unfortunately. And it's also on the border of Mexico, and it sees a lot of human trafficking and drug trafficking. And the fact that people protest it, as we mentioned before we went to break, it's just crazy. But it's the human suffering and the human tragedy that our leaders in Sacramento and our weak sheriffs in Southern California are not working with ICE or the Border Patrol to make sure that this is all prevented. Thankfully, we got that part of the wall built, and we've seen the illegal drug trafficking cut down, but it's still happening. And the fact that our state is so poorly ran that that people are essentially cheating the system, and they know what they're doing when they're hiring these immigrants here that are, well, I hate to say immigrants because they're just illegal aliens.
Yeah, and it does get scary out here. I recall a day where I was getting into my car and I got a phone call from Chief Bovino. You see him in LA. He's leading the operation up there. He's the chief of border protection, and he said, "Listen, we had some hikers that were just shot by the cartel." I said, "Oh my God, hold on, I'm coming." I had to come. So, when you see this in real life, because they happened to be hiking through a place where cartels were smuggling at that moment up in the mountains, because it goes when you American citizen and a Canadian citizen too. They were hiking, and there's a little area before you go from Imperial County into San Diego, and there's a little hiking, Jacumba, and they were hiking, and the cartel saw him, shot him, and took
Just
off.
cartel territory, running, doing
It
their
is
elite,
cartel territory.
and they're just in our own country, cartel
Hmm.
controlled territory inside the United States, inside California, where they're operating outside of the law, and they're killing not only American citizens, but unfortunately a Canadian citizen as well. This is a multinational incident. Why is nobody talking
It
about
is. I was the only reporter there, Leo,
it? And this
because
is why
nobody wanted to sit down with Chief Bovino of Border Protection.
I talk about you so
I was,
highly, Jessamyn, because you are
thank
the
you.
one who's doing the reporting that needs to be done. This is the kind of stuff that should be on every major news outlet. A U.S. and Canadian citizen were murdered by illegal cartel members on U.S. soil. Whose
Yeah, I
country
have
is
the
this?
pictures. I've got the pictures. I've got the video with the chief up on my, uh, on my social media, and it's absolutely crazy because that should have been national news. And let me it's just happening in like hiking trails or like right there on the border because I've seen them so many times with the dog. Thank God those dogs, roof, roof, roof. Let me tell you something. Before you even get to those dogs, your car is being X-rayed. A lot of people don't know that, but there are little sensors that will show them when to bring those dogs out. And I've seen them alert and I've seen them drag people out of cars. And it's not just at the border. These people could be your neighbors. You don't know who they're hiding. I didn't know who they were hiding down the street in a why would I? You see people, "Hi, how you doing?" Okay, great. You think it's just somebody's going to work, coming back. You don't know that there's people and guns and drugs hidden in those homes. It could be your neighbor, it could be the person down the street, it could be the house that's always dark. You don't know, and it's all over. And by the way, Leo, let me just go ahead and say something because I do a lot of work with anti-trafficking groups, and there's a huge thing with the protesters where they're saying they're separating the children.
They're already
I was one of
separated
those
before they
people.
brought across the border.
Yeah. I was one of those people who was like, keep families together. Yes, of course. And I didn't understand it till I saw it with my own eyes. That almost I want to say at least 7 out of 10 kids do not belong to those grown-ups that they are crossing the border with.
It's
Their
human
parents have
tri
sold them.
it's human and
Sold
child sex
them.
trafficking. It's so barbaric. I mean, the fact that we can even say that it's cartel controlled territory, wouldn't that just mean, hey, cops and government need to go in there and kick these guys the hell out of this area? I mean, the fact that it can even be described by that by us is a problem.